What's up guys, it's Oblivious Gamer here with another video, and today I wanted to talk about a particular game that as I was browsing the internet I stumbled upon. So for this game, they showed gameplay footage. This trailer is like a day or two old, which I really liked what I saw and I felt it was very unique. Like this is not something we see every day with these type of games. And the game that I'm talking about is called Varvarion, a action video game developed and published by Polygonomicon, which I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it correctly. So this is obviously an indie game. Now, I was already aware of Varvarion when they announced it a while back, and they showed a small trailer at the time. And I was a bit curious about what they showed, but I felt it wasn't enough for me to be hooked. It was like a 1-minute trailer, and like I said, it wasn't just enough for me to say, oh, I'm on board on this. This seems very promising, at least for my taste. But today they showed a more lengthy trailer, and we got to see the game in action for quite some time compared to the other trailers. So now I could say I am on board. I'm really interested. Personally, what got me interested in the game was the art style that they had, and of course the gameplay. Apparently, Varvarion supports a wide assortment of combat situations ranging from one-on-one duels to group melees. I think this game has some potential to be really fun, or at least something fresh to try out. Now, before I continue, if you like the content, don't forget to subscribe. Apparently, the Digital Games Expo happened in Tokyo yesterday, and the developers released this gameplay trailer. Personally, one of the biggest things I like is the art style. It has these anime vibes that look really good in 3D. It seems to be done really well. I understand this is described as an action game, but at times I really can't help but think this looks and feels like an arena fighter game, at least when it comes to, the 1v1 duels. I understand there are instances where you fight multiple opponents, but if this game has online with 1v1 duels, I really can't help but describe it as an arena fighter just because of how it feels and looks. Apparently, the developers do have a goal of trying to develop a balanced, tactical, fighting game-like skill video game with a wide variety of combat scenarios that you can find in action games. They do describe their game as high-speed blade battle stimulator, which I'm not lying about that part. But at least we can see it's very also entertaining to watch. During the 1v1 we do see a lot of more dodging and blocking, which I feel at parts looks really interesting how the movement flows with certain attacks, and the dodges too, but I can see some people saying it looks a bit janky, which I can understand, but I don't know, sometimes with some of the movement it feels like it was done on purpose because they're just moments that it looks really good, or you could say the jankiness goes a bit well. I know it's a weird way to describe it, and maybe it's just me that sees it that way. Or maybe I just like the style or direction they're going with, which could affect my judgment on how I look at this game. I think though the camera moves a bit too much. I'm hoping they would consider adding an option to remove it or to tone it down a bit. For me, I'm not a fan of the shaky camera. I always, for example, on first-person shooters, look for ways or the option to get rid of the shaky camera. I just hate it. Shaky camera, bloom, all that type of crap. Get rid of that crap. I hate it because it's very annoying. At least for me, it just feels it ruins what I'm looking or what I'm trying to play. Because for me, it feels annoying. It like ruins the flow of the game, especially if this is like a fighting game where you're fighting people. If you're having like a shaky camera at times, it just feels so distracting. And at other times, it just can cause motion sickness for some people. I do overall think the concept is a bit unique and interesting. I mean, you don't get to see this type of game every day. Now, this game is being done by a small company, so at the same time, I won't be too much of an ass with them when it comes to expectations. Like, I understand their limits. I do think they haven't announced any release date, which for these type of games, at least for indie developers, I feel it's a good thing because it gives the developers time to focus and have no need to rush the game. And when it comes to the indie games, a lot of times having their game flop can break the company. Varvarion so far will be coming to PC. They haven't mentioned if the game would come to other platforms. Maybe they will announce it later down the line once development has gone further, or maybe they will add other platforms once the game is released and see how the sales do, or this game could potentially just stay on PC forever. I personally don't know, but I have a PC, so at least I have a way to play. In the end, I think this game has a lot of potential if done properly. It has an element of uniqueness when it comes to the gameplay and design, which you don't see every day. Personally, I will be keeping an eye out for Varvarion as we get more information. So what are your thoughts, guys? Feel free to leave them down below. This has been Oblivious Gamer, and I hope you'll have a wonderful day or night wherever you are.